Welcome back to Fighters Drinking Coffee, guys. We are sitting down today with Tim Dawson, the owner of High Noon BJJ down in it's Springfield, right? Is that Alexandria? I don't know where the cutoff is. I've left this portion of Virginia now, so I've lost the my ability, my bearings on the region. But yeah, so we're sitting down with Tim Dawson from High Noon BJJ. We're going to start off with a question from last week's episode. So last week we were talking about how Jiu-Jitsu doesn't take itself too seriously, and is it just Star Wars? So what we left off with is, who is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of BJJ?
Hey, real quick though, set the table for him.
Oh,
Talk about who Palpatine is.
So Palpatine.
Hey, Tim, you've seen Star Wars.
100%.
Okay, good.
I'm a nerd.
All right,
We grew up around the same time, so I'm like, he's seen Star
perfect.
Wars.
So we're talking like prequel trilogy here, which apparently is already a whole hot button topic, but whatever. But so we're talking Emperor Palpatine is John Danaher, and he's manufactured the split between Craig Jones and Gordon Ryan, like the two schools of thought there. But we think, so he's still backing Craig Jones. Craig Jones is Count Dooku.
This is the
here.
Conspiracies. Yeah, that's good. Tell him that.
Craig Jones.
Wait, hold on. So we're thinking Danaher and Craig Jones are still, they're good.
Oh, they're still
they communicate.
good. Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're boys. They're driving that side while he's also over here working Gordon Ryan. Gordon Ryan's Anakin in this scenario, I guess.
Soon
I
to be
don't know.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He's going to become. He might. Well,
He's
getting there.
there.
I don't know if we're on episode 2 or 3. I'm not.
He's
sure.
already like, he's headed towards Darth Vader.
Oh, big time.
already.
He's there.
Like he was.
He killed the younglings.
He was the chosen
He
one.
got the younglings. The younglings are done.
Force, dude.
He murked the younglings.
He's already killed the younglings for sure. I don't know if he's killed Padme yet, but he's definitely getting close there. But who's Obi-Wan Kenobi here? Who's the one that's, I guess, the trigger for the saving of all of us?
Could you see Danaher? See, here my thing was, I could see Danaher. He's cunning and like smart enough. He's like a mastermind enough to be like, all right, couple years. So let's rewind a couple years. I guess episode 1, Star Wars, right? So things are still kind of taking place. I could see him going to Craig and Gordon before they all kind of went their separate ways and saying, look, boys, you guys are like the heads. Nogi, you're the most entertaining guys in the sport.
Out there, yeah.
1000%.
Gordon because of his great skill, and Craig because of his skill and his personality.
So he's like, what if we just manufacture some controversy?
Yeah.
You go over here. Yeah, I mean, like maybe they already didn't like each other. He's like, look, we're going to split. We might as well have some fun with it. Let's make this fan the flames a little bit. Could you see that?
I could definitely see that.
See, I think it's decent.
I could see those guys getting together and saying, if we do things this way, in the long term, we all make the maximum amount of money.
That's right.
Because people are going to flock to Craig as sort of like the good guy. He's like out there making sure people aren't doing bad things. He calls people out. He's running cool tournaments. I want to get athletes paid, all of this good stuff. Gordon's an a-hole online, as far as you can tell. But then you meet the guy in person.
He's actually really nice.
Actually quite
He's the
nice.
best. Yeah.
So I could see that for sure, dude.
Right? They're playing characters.
They're playing this against each other.
They're 1,000% playing characters.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then he's got this question. We're having fun with the Star Wars thing. Is there an Anakin Skywalker? I don't know. Or sorry, what was the question? Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, who's Obi-Wan Kenobi?
So who's like the guy out there that's a leader, a thought leader in jiu-jitsu that's just not Palpatine?
And the last good guy at the end of this all.
it may completely disrupt our whole schematic here.
We have a backup question too, so it's okay.
Oh, do you? Okay,
oh yeah,
well, let's run with it.
We'll get to that one.
That's
after.
A tough one because like in this era of jiu-jitsu, I don't know who that would be. Like if we went back like 15 years ago, it'd probably be like Marcelo.
Marcelo's a good guy.
Unassailably good human being that's also amazing at jiu-jitsu. Who's left like that?
Good question. So it might not work.
Maybe the Mendez brothers? Are they nice enough?
I don't know. I mean, they're good. They're
good.
nasty. Are they nice?
I get some weird vibes.
I get very weird vibes from them.
Have you seen like I'm going to get in trouble.
Just do it.
I just
Yeah, you're not gonna get in trouble.
look, dude.
Tim, don't.
I've seen. We're already
Okay, go,
10
go,
minutes
go,
in.
go,
Hot
go.
takes already.
Do it. Let's bring it.
Have you seen their Instagram posts where their entire family are dressed in like the same color,
I
and the
have.
same type of clothes?
I have.
It's really weird.
I think that's girl stuff. I think that's like,
Do you think it's the wife that's
big
leading
time,
that?
1,000%. Well, now that I'm saying it, like I will say this, the entire academy, I think they're like locked into like everyone wears white
Yeah.
in the gi and they all wear black, no gi. It's like there are rules. So it could be a little bit of like, it could be Daddy Mendez. I could see, but like family pictures and stuff, though, I feel like that's like girls are usually like, this is what we're doing. Like wife is always like, we're all doing that. And husband's usually like, all right, whatever you say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know. You all
I
tell
did
me.
notice the house like is pristine. It looks like no one even lives there. You know, my house is a fucking war zone, dude. I'm sorry.
Dude.
I got a couple kids and it's
Sure.
a war zone, man.
Sure.
You know, there's stuff everywhere. It's not like dirty. You know, we
This is
clean
the-
up, but there's stuff everywhere.
There's so
This is
much
the cleanest you're ever going to see my house, by the way. Right before you all came in here, I had it cleaned.
Really?
Professionals,
It was professional.
professionals, bro. It's not clean, but whatever. Yeah, I get it. It's understandable. You all have kids. I have no excuse.
I mean, Mike, what do you think? Do you think the Mendez brothers are secretly evil, or are they the?
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, they definitely probably have a dark side. I don't know if
We
they're
hope
pure
so.
evil. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, everyone wearing the same thing all the time. It does kind of speak some like Jedi vibes, though. They're dressing. They have the younglings, I guess.
They
I
do
don't
have the
know.
younglings.
True, yeah.
So
They got a
maybe
squad of younglings.
we'll find out if Gordon kills all of their students.
True.
I think we know the answer.
I think he could, dude.
At
least Nogi, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
1,000%.
but I think that has legs. I'll accept that answer.
I think it might be the Mendez brothers because, like, look, despite like a little bit of weirdness here and there, they do have a gigantic kids program. They've brought us some
Beasts.
world beaters.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
When you think about a guy like Tynan, Cole Abate, these guys are so freaking good at jiu-jitsu, and they seem like nice kids. I've never heard anything weird coming out of their camp either. I've never heard anything bad about the guys. I've never seen anything personally. I think they're a little bit intense. You know, I've seen that at tournaments, just coaching their students and stuff. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I'm a little bit intense too when I'm out at a tournament. So
Yeah.
I'd be the Mendez brothers, guys.
I like
right.
it. I like the Mendez brothers.
They're like a Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know who else. Qui-Gon Jinn kind of.
Qui-Gon Jinn. I like that.
I didn't have this one queued up originally, but I kind of want to know now. Which character is Mikey Musumeci
Oh my god, dude!
in the prequel trilogy? We had an answer
No,
but I don't know if
he'll
it's true.
laugh.
Prequel trilogy. I don't know, man. I couldn't say. Mikey's an interesting figure in the community.
I said Jar Jar Binks.
Have you guys heard all the conspiracies about
No,
Jar Jar
dude,
Binks
no, what
being a Sith? Like
What?
secretly? Yeah. Have you guys read?
No.
You
That
guys are
makes
not
me-
that deep on the internet.
I know,
Not
I've
deep
seen
enough,
that.
apparently.
Dig
They-
into this after the podcast.
Dude,
They,
my internet algorithm's bizarre, man. It's got like the weird shit that I get like things on giants. I get things on, definitely aliens and giants and like the grays and like weird. Anyways.
Look,
so,
dude, I love my conspiracy theories. You know, whether that extends into pop culture stuff or like real life. You know, look, dude, 20, 30 years ago, you know, I think conspiracy theorists got like a negative,
oh yeah.
you know, connotation in society, in the zeitgeist. But for example, if you had asked somebody 50 years ago, hey, is the government spending millions and millions of dollars, like loading people up on LSD to see if they can figure out if they can remotely view locations or read people's minds or move things with their brains? People would say you're insane. You're a conspiracy theorist. You got a tinfoil hat on, all this stuff. And then, you know, just a little while ago, they unseal all that stuff. And that's exactly what the government was doing.
There are
dude.
Wikipedia pages on this now.
Yeah,
You can look
they
up.
were doing
yeah.
exactly that. And who knows if those programs even got shut down for real? They probably did, but we don't know.
Well,
you know?
okay, if it was us, this is what I always think. If it was us, sure, we're getting scrutinized. But if something worked, by the way, they say that the remote viewing stuff kind of works. I don't know. I've never done it.
I don't know.
I-
But I know they spent a long time on
they
this
spent a
stuff.
lot of money on
They
it.
spent a lot. So it could have been, you know, I try to use Occam's razor with stuff like this. The simplest solution is probably the right one. However, it's either, to me, it's one of two things. It either worked and they just buried it and they still do it.
That's what I was going
Or
to say.
two, the guys that were a part of the program made sure they kept their jobs and strung everybody that was in charge of like, you know, making sure the program was having any sort of positive results. They just lied to those guys. So they kept their little system.
They got
going.
compartmentalized.
I don't know.
Well, dude,
It's one of those two things. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, that was where I was at, where I was like, okay, so if it worked at all,
Right.
and like the MKUltra stuff definitely works.
And it happened.
It definitely happened.
You know?
Like you could, like I said, Wikipedia that. You open the Wikipedia page, MKUltra. Like it, I would say, I mean, look again, it's all sort of like opaque, naturally, duh. Like we're talking about a clandestine agency. So they're like by design doing stuff in secret. That's like what we kind of want them to do, but now they're doing too much of it,
right.
I think. But whatever. They're too good at it. Like they got too good at their job. But so we're not meant to know completely, but you can program, I guess, a Manchurian candidate. You can program a human being to do a thing, okay? And drugs, LSD for whatever, like but we know now that like they were a part of the creation of LSD.
Yeah.
Right? This is canon, I think. This is like, it's like, you can look.
So Scott, this is canon. This is not even,
that's not conspiracy.
Anymore.
That's right.
It's not conspiracy.
That's right.
It's been confirmed.
They had professors in on this stuff. Like the Unabomber was a part of that stuff. Like he was a part of, they were looking for students that were brilliant, but emotionally
suggestible
or compromised in some way, you know, like, that's a real thing that happened.
So if that works, like you said, okay, I guess let's say it's all a science experiment or whatever. And they're like, all right, 90% of this didn't work, but the 10% that did, and it worked, let's say that 10% worked well, you're going to stop doing it?
Hell no.
You're going to do it and you're going to do it better.
Yeah.
You're going to say, let's get more funding. And you're going to say, okay, well, we'll hide it under this program over here. You're right. No, we got rid of that program. Yes. I've watched enough movies. Yeah, well, we know that was silly. It was, whatever. But the 10% that worked, we move it over here. We get funding from over there, blah, 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 blah. We're going to do it 10 times more now.
Yeah,
just
better, dude. Of course.
But anyways, Jar Jar Binks, tell us about the conspiracy, because I don't know about this.
So I actually got in on this because
Whoa, you know about this?
Oh, dude, my kid has gotten into like Legos, and Star Wars and stuff like that, and they have one of like the Lego Star Wars things is like has like all the alternate realities, because that's also the thing now too for
Disney, metaverse,
all Disney,
multiverse,
the multiverse shit in Disney. Yeah. But so one of them has the Jar Jar Binks, Sith Darth Jar Jar Binks or whatever.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
So that's what happened to circle back. Mikey would be Jar Jar Binks if that conspiracy is true, because I think that guy cannot possibly be that fucking nice. There's no way.
He's definitely a bad guy.
Nobody's that nice. I had a guy in law school. I'm not going to say his name, just in case this comes across anyone's ears that I went to school with. But this guy liked everybody by his own admission. And we never liked each other, because I would just call him out on it. I was like, dude, there's no way you like everybody you've encountered here in law school. That's absolute bullshit. I have so many people I don't like. There's people I love, but there's also a lot of people I don't like. That's unrealistic.
You're like, red flags are
something
flying.
Is wrong with you, bro. There's no way you got bodies in your basement or something if you're telling me you like everybody. That's not real.
Fake.
Yeah. So that's my issue with Mikey. He likes
too nice.
He's too nice.
Oh, he's definitely hiding something.
Yeah, it doesn't seem real.
No.
Yeah. So Mikey's Darth Jar Jar. Lock that in.
Darth Musamichi.
I think there's probably someone who thinks that he's like going to be, I don't know, maybe thinks he's going to be Luke Skywalker. Absolutely not.
No.
He's not Luke Skywalker. Yeah, Luke Skywalker does not exist yet.
He hasn't presented himself yet to the community.
No, Padme's still alive. He can't. Well, maybe.
Yeah, we don't have a Luke Skywalker yet.
Is Padme Gordon's girlfriend going to jail?
Oh, for sure.
I'll say it.
She might be. So we might actually be entering the end arc of the prequel trilogy for Jiu-Jitsu, because I think she might be, at least in terms of the world of Jiu-Jitsu, I think she might be getting killed off.
Can we talk about that situation?
I don't know
much about
it.
Yes, we can.
Too hot button. So
we want hot button.
This is actually a weird thing about Gordon. So Gordon presents as just an absolute a-hole sometimes online, right? But his relationship with Sonny is really interesting. So, according to him, she like took care of his whole life while he was like becoming the best no-gi grappler in the world, and when he was sick, and trying to come back and do those final matches that he did, against Galvao, and then the last one against Pena and all that stuff. And so, in my estimation, as like a local patriarch, I really fuck with his attitude about it, which is like, no matter what's going on with her, because I think she's embarrassed him in some ways, like the interactions with Craig and shit like that, and this recent stuff with, her getting stopped by the cops. But if somebody holds you down while you're busy conquering the world, and they're partially responsible for you sitting in a big house somewhere with millions of dollars, and most guys sitting in a big house with millions of dollars, somewhere in the background, there's like a wife or a fiance or girlfriend that's really like helped them take care of everything else while they go conquer the world. You take care of him no matter what. And he's kept his word on that, dude. No matter what she's done, he takes good care of her, and he probably should. So I have to respect him as a man for keeping his word along those lines, because I think it's the right thing to do, actually.
I could 100% see him taking care of his people who took care of him, like you said. I mean, he seems like he doesn't have, he's definitely like he's a heel.
He can be a heel,
He is a heel. And so he'll shoot shots at anybody, that's like coming at him publicly or whatever. Like, that's obvious.
Yeah.
But like any dude who does that, his crew that he's tight with, he's going to take good care of them.
100%. He's got a parking spot out front for John Danaher at his gym. I've noticed, like, even watching, like, everyone watches like videos that come out from Kingsway and stuff like that, just to see what he's doing technically. Man, that guy won't even let anybody roll into John, I think like that kind of loyalty towards the people that have helped you is admirable.
And his
whether you like Gordon or not.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing presentation wise. No question about it.
So,
are we out of conspiracies? There's no way we're out of conspiracies.
We can definitely find some more.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
So many.
There's a lot to talk about.
You guys tell me. What I've been thinking about a lot lately is just what's going on in the country, dude.
Okay.
It's kind of strange.
What do you got for us?
Look, I'll stay politically agnostic, but I am an American. I was a former service member.
Dude, you got an American flag on your shirt right now. You're a red-blooded American.
And in law school, I was really like into what's called like process theory. So for me, you could be right wing, left wing, whatever. You can feel how you want to feel, libertarian. But the process by which we go about things in America is super important. So due process, habeas corpus, if somebody accuses you, they got to show up in open court and say, you did this, and you can respond. That kind of stuff, presidents should provide their tax returns before they get elected. There's a lot of things that started just getting thrown out of the window, 10, 15 years ago that we should have never allowed to be thrown out of the window, because it turns out that this stuff, these like little checks and balances, are super important for America to remain the great place that it is. And so as an American citizen that cares about that process, I've been very like disturbed lately about how things are going, even going back to small stuff like, hey, this guy's coming into office, he won't provide his tax returns. For me as a citizen, it's like, I don't really care whether this guy is Republican or Democrat or whatever. I want to see your tax returns so I know Russia doesn't have fucking $15 million of debt on the books for you. You know what I mean? Because that might mean you are a Manchurian candidate, compromised in some way. Some other country might have something over your head. Some corporation might have something over your head. And thus they can control you when you're in office. And that's inappropriate for a U.S. president. So we let a lot of little stuff kind of go over the years, like Mitch McConnell not giving Merrick Garland a hearing when he was supposed to go to the Supreme Court. Little stuff like that. And we're just like, okay, we'll get him on the other end. No, man, that's really part and parcel of how the country's got to work to remain a good place. And so we've thrown so many things out of the window. I'm worried about what the country is right now. That's apolitical. I'm concerned about that just as an American that enjoys the rights that we have here as Americans.
That's it. I have wondered myself. So like, let's see. Okay. What I've observed apolitically, these are just like, this is just what's happened in the last like 15 or 20 years. What I have seen, because there's like, with the, I think the thread that you're kind of on here, it looks, perhaps it looks like we are we're sort of falling into this pendulum swing of like hard left, hard right. And like, it's whether or not there's realities of either one of the far ends of the spectrum actually taking over. You're presented with this threat that someone on the hard left is going to change your life if you're anywhere center or right. Yeah. And so then you freak out. And I guess my way of saying, right, prior to Donald Trump, or even with Donald Trump, during Donald Trump, I will, because this dude's been around for a minute, but like politically around for like what? Like since the lead up to 2016, before that. So we're looking at like almost 12 years.
Yeah,
now.
And then he's been a big public figure since
for our entire
like
lives.
The 80s, yeah,
our entire lives. But so
he used to be a Democrat too. Do you guys know?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And he yeah, I mean, whatever. He's just he's like a dude likes the spotlight, right? So he kind of like, like, oh, if there's an opportunity, I'll step up, I'll do it, right? So that's him, whatever. But so like, I guess what I'm getting to is I want to know if that same thread, there's some books somewhere around here. I got a bunch, there's a book right there. It's right there. It's the Storm Before the Storm by whatever that. It's a book about the fall of the Roman Republic and the I guess the chess pieces, the dominoes that fell a couple generations before Julius Caesar steps in and basically puts an end to the Republic.
Right.
I like Caesar. He's like just a fascinating person to study. And there's like one of those books that I've watched, listened to podcasts. He's a fascinating dude. And I bring him up because like him, if you guys know anything about Caesar?
Yeah.
A little bit about a decent amount, right? So like I think he probably believed that he was going to come in and prior to him. And that book is really about like the generations of reformers in Rome who were trying their best to resolve like the political issues that had gotten so grandiose. They're like, if we don't do anything about this is going to be a problem. And those dudes trying to reform were threatening the powers that be to such an extent that like multiple generations of dudes, they ended up just getting assassinated.
Yeah.
And so for real, like back then, they got assassinated. And the dudes who were, I guess, just the generations right below that who saw it or were like parts of the armies or the political gangs that actually did the assassinations were like, all right, well, when I come of age, how am I going to not get assassinated? The way I'm not going to get assassinated is I'm going to get an army. I'm just going to take over.
Right.
So there's multiple waves of like civil wars of dudes coming and being like temporary dictators. By the time Caesar comes around, he's like, all right, we got to fix this shit, but I actually have to be dictator to do that. Right. And we know how that ended. And then he ends that. And then Caesar's nephew and like the dudes who stop him, the guys who killed him probably believed like we're saving the Republic. But it was at that point, that ship had sailed. It was
beyond the point of saving.
So if we want to draw,
and then it was something else forever after. It was never
that again.
Yeah, it was never that again.
So are we heading in a direction now where like we're just kind of being primed for like this instability? And I think things are obviously like we have a pretty good life. Like you said, I would like to maintain like
amazing.
Things are great, right? So like, do we need that? No, we don't need that. But I don't actually think it's that bad. But we're constantly being led to believe that everything's falling apart. Like what you see on, Instagram or the news or whatever, everything's a major crisis. And there are definitely things that need to be fixed for sure. But can we chill a little bit? And so Trump in the, left and right or whatever. And so like basically to your point, and if we're going to talk about like just facts, not political, but not political, like, hey, look, now we're like overthrowing dictators in South America. Now we're like telling Greenland, we're going to come in and be like, this belongs to us now. Like we're looking a lot more like an empire.
100%.
Like we've always been an empire. Rome was an empire when it was still a republic. It just got too big. We're like, nope, empire makes sense now. Right. I guess. I mean, it did for a while.
You start saying it out loud.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm getting to. It's like, oh, it's starting to look like, now we're expanding.
So we have been that for many years. We have bases, military bases all over the freaking world. But now we're like openly imperialist. But at the same
It looks that
time,
way.
here at home,
we want our rights.
we're being restricted in a way that we never have been. So it's like we're losing our freedom. At the same time, this current administration is going out and being openly imperialist again. Like, we're going to take this stuff that we need, that we want, because who's going to do anything about it? So it's interesting kind of watching like the world, you know, certain other world powers kind of allying against us and just seeing how all that's going to go internationally. Here at home, though, I'm concerned about simple things like the Fourth Amendment, you know, being treaded on, which I don't like. It's weird to see like there's a big group of Americans.
And that's due process?
No, like Fourth Amendment. Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay.
Fourth Amendment covers like, you know, your freedom from illegal search and seizure,
Okay.
your right to privacy, stuff like that. That stuff, man, has been under attack for a long time, going all the way back to like stop and frisk in New York, and has in many ways been eviscerated over the last like couple decades, in my opinion. And I really don't like that. Yeah. That's my problem. Like, I don't want the government coming to my house and trying to get in my door without a warrant. I don't want Americans being pulled out of their cars. I don't want ICE going door to door. Not door to door. You know, if you know there's an illegal immigrant there and you want to go get them, that's the prerogative of any government to like have a sealed border and deal with people that have entered the country under illegal means. I don't have some issue with that. I never have.
Well,
however,
can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah, please.
Well, okay, so I mean, your background was, look, people were listening, they haven't figured out. Tim's background was he was an attorney, like, so he's legally educated on these things, right? So if I may, on that thread, dude. All right, so if we're gonna have law enforcement, follow the law, right? Like, you have to have, I guess, at least probable cause, or maybe a judge issued warrant to do what you're talking about. And okay, so here's where it gets crazy. I'm with you, man. Like, we can't lose these rights.
We can't
lose these rights,
man.
That's something I think everyone should agree upon. And one of my issues with what I said earlier was like, okay, we have this left-right thing. Like, it always looks a lot better to start to hand away your rights to the dudes, the right wing, who present this like rah old school American, like, we're the ones who are going to protect your rights, but really we're actually not. So it looks better to do that.
And we're never going to do this to you. Everybody's always fine, throwing their rights away if they feel like the people they're throwing their rights away to, the people they're giving power to, are not going to bother them. But they always will eventually come and bother
1,000%.
And if you like to read history, obviously, Scott, I'm just looking at your
No, I mean, I agree with you.
They will always come for you eventually when they're done, you know, screwing over all the others, whoever those people are. So that's my problem, man. Like, ICE has no jurisdiction at all whatsoever legally over American citizens at all. They can detain you for some de minimis amount of time to check and see if you're an American citizen, if they're operating in an area. So yes, they could walk up to us on the street and be like, hey, are you guys American citizens? And once we make it clear that we are, we hand them a real ID or something like that. Here's my social security number. Run it, check it. As soon as they know you're a U.S. citizen, they need to get the fuck out of your face, like, period. So I've seen too much stuff on the news where these guys are shooting people, fucking with people's cars, pulling people out of their car, blah, 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 et cetera, for people that are obviously Americans. What are you doing? Like, what are we doing, like, as a society, even being okay with that? You know, it should be like, look, you guys have the prerogative to go get illegal aliens. There are people on the left, right, whatever, that are going to have issues with that. You should leave these people alone. I don't care. Like, if they came in the country illegally, then the government has a right to, like, remove them if they want to. I don't know that should be a priority, but they have a right to do it. So I'm not going to argue with that. But why are you fucking with Americans when you don't have the jurisdiction to even touch them? You can ask them if they're an American citizen and you can verify, and that's it.
You know where it gets creepy for me too is you have these like sophisticated technologies like Palantir.
That's so scary.
It's
we
very
gotta talk
scary.
about that too.
It's very scary. But look, so you have this stuff and clearly you want to use it, and you've definitely used it overseas. Like, I believe Israel uses Palantir very intensely
100%.
to ascertain who is a threat, who isn't a threat. So like I think that's what one of their products, sponsors a company, but one of their products is like designed to do that, to say this person is a threat, deal with that person.
Right.
Okay, so you have the technology that's allegedly, I believe if its company's worth as much as it's worth, it's probably pretty effective technology. You can figure out who is and who isn't a citizen.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
So there you go. So then why are you hassling citizens? What's actually going on here, right? So you're right. It's I guess what I'm saying is like if you have this really useful technology that can actually, and you can approach this from like whatever perspective you want. Let's say you guys really actually want to just be good at enforcing immigration issues and you have the resources to do it. Wouldn't it make sense just administratively to kind of allocate your people and your time to that and not to dealing with crowds, not to like...
Yeah, these guys should have like something on them where they can connect to a system. You can punch in someone's name, maybe a social, maybe an ID number and be like, this dude has paid taxes for the past 25 years.
He's good.
He was born in Indiana. This is an American. So I need legally to get the fuck out of this space.
Well,
I don't have any jurisdiction over him.
It's not a good use of your time. And like, okay, the whole, like I said, that whole thing creeps me out anyways, but like, okay, you got it and you can use it. So like, I guess use it correctly. And I'm sure they would say that they're being obstructed and that's why they're blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But it's creepy, dude. The whole thing is creepy. And yeah, dude, what's going on here is bizarre.
It's bizarre.
It's very concerning.
It's bizarre. Also, another thing that's really bothering me lately as an American is our treasury being pillaged by our own politicians and now the administration. I think that's always been happening a little bit on both sides. All of these politicians are rich. I used to work on Capitol Hill. My favorite story to tell people if they're too right wing or left wing is like, hey, it's actually not right versus left. It's just kind of like the people versus the people that have a lot of resources. It's really like a class thing, but people don't realize that. You would go and see Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, politically mortal enemies. They're super friendly in person. They like each other. They're both like rich Americans. They don't really have any beef. The way they want you to believe. They all belong to the same club that you are not a part of.
Yeah. Gordon and Craig.
Gordon Craig. Why are they enemies, dude?
Yeah, we're making money together.
Yeah, they're selling hundreds of thousands of dollars in instructionals every month.
They're
dude.
the masters.
Yeah, they're
dude.
fine,
like,
dude.
They're just taking the playbook. Palpatine's taking the playbook from them. He's like, look, dude, like everyone can insider trade and make hundreds of millions of dollars if we play this the right way.
I was literally just about to mention
that was the whole reason Gordon was traveling to all this stuff for the inauguration.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He was really just going to get the playbook.
Well, look, dude, if I were a super rich American, you know, which we're all working on.
Tell me about it.
I'd love to be one of those officially.
Hell
yeah. I want to, you know, as I get older, guys.
Tell me.
I'm just going to say this hot take. Politically, you know, I want social freedom for people. I want people to be mostly left alone by the government. I think I honestly lean libertarian more than anything else. I just want the government to leave me alone and take care of the things that are necessary, like, you know, safety and public works and stuff like that. The older I get, the more I'm like inclined to vote for whoever's going to let me keep most of my money.
That's right.
Which is effed up.
Tough,
that's just how it is.
No, I don't think that's effed up at all. I mean, I get it, dude. Like the concern, like you said, it is a class thing at the end of the day. And I think what's tough, the situation we've been put in, for better or worse, and we're going to make the most of it, right? Like, because no one's coming to save us. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to save ourselves. That's just the way it's always going to be. And like you said, it's like, get off my money, man. Because that's kind of, for better or worse, that's how you take care of yourself.
I'm a local dad, dude. I want to keep most of my money.
Take care of yourself.
I don't want my money sent to, I can't even say this. I don't want my money sent to foreign countries.
Get it?
To help them out.
I get it.
We're sending like so much money to countries that have universal health care. And then we have Americans that are going broke. They got to file bankruptcy because they broke their leg. So that's fucking wild, man. Like, I don't give a fuck about that country in some like grand scheme of things. I hope they're okay, but
wish them the best.
I don't give a fuck about them to the detriment of like my kids.
That's right.
That's like wild that we're doing that, you know? So prices and stuff are going up over here. Insurance premiums are going up over here. We have like people in the administration just looting the treasury. Like, here's $200 million to my buddy's like media company to make some stupid ad where I'm riding a horse. Christy Nome. Are you fucking kidding me? They're just looting the treasury. And then we're sending billions of dollars to other countries that have healthcare and shit for their citizens.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are we doing? I'm sorry, I just gotta say it like that. What the fuck are we doing?
This is why I asked that question earlier about like, here's the thought. I don't know the answer, obviously, but thought exercise. What if these guys, the current administration, what if they read the room on that? Hey, like, look, we've destroyed our purchasing power of our dollar. Everyone, people with savings, like the money that you're sitting on and saving, it's not going to buy what it would buy you 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just, that's gone. I don't know what that amount is. Let's say it's 20%, but a lot. Maybe it's not 20%. Someone who knows this shit, but it's lost its purchasing power. We are an empire. Hey, Trump's been in office before. He kind of saw, he was the outsider. He's going to come, he's going to disrupt shit. He gets in there and he's like, oh, fuck, it's worse than I thought. I can't disrupt anything. And guess what? 4 years in office, people are coming after me, right? So this is what politics looks like once you actually get in there. Maybe he wants to do all this shit. Maybe he doesn't want to do it. It's a whole dance. Don't know. But let's just say thought exercise. He does. He comes in, he realizes this shit is more fucked up than I thought. Okay. He gets pilloried for 4 years, gets out, loses to Biden, comes back, and this time he's like, all right, gloves are off. We're doing it this way.
Yeah.
I can't change certain things inside the government. We're on this course towards empire. We're going to have to take some shit.
We're going to have to take some shit, and we're going to have to dismantle some of the government.
Like, and to take some shit is like, take Maduro out, steal the oil, Greenland. Okay.
Yeah, it's at the top of the fucking earth. Like, it's a great spot. It's a great spot.
And so I'm not defending it.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm asking, dude. I mean, like I said, what would we do if we were like, if it's a game of risk?
You can get everywhere from Greenland.
If it's a game of risk, it's like, I'm not saying he's playing the game of risk the wrong way, to be honest with you. But, and I'm not defending this. I'm just saying, like, maybe that's the reality situation where he's like, this shit, if I could try to undo the shit, it ain't working.
Steve Bannon said as much.
Did he?
Like incoming, when they were coming into the first Trump administration, Steve Bannon's an interesting figure who I weirdly agree with on a lot of stuff.
He like actually believes in Americans.
Kind of a populist, but his way of doing that was like, we have to take control of the government so we can dismantle it. That's what he wanted to do. People have forgotten he said that because it was so long ago now and people have short memories. But I remember what Steve Bannon said because I thought it was interesting at the time. And I was curious to see how it was going to play out. And so now that I didn't expect Trump to get back in office. I will say that. But now he's back in office and they're doing some of that stuff, or they've said they were going to do some of that stuff, but instead they've decided to just loot the treasury, take care of their friends, and do a bunch of stuff I don't agree with, or that I think is bullshit, that it's like so bad they deserve to be removed from power. But if they come back in and say, we're going to continue this work of dismantling the government, I would have been all for it. But they're not doing that. I
think it's consolidating its power.
They're consolidating its power and turning America into something else. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
That's actually the concern.
Well, and kind of like related to that point, because you were touching on like the relinquishing of rights and stuff like that, and how it all, I guess, like in recent time, it's 24 years ago, 2001, when like everyone was willing to start giving up some of that for national security, right? Like
9/11.
And we all start giving up that little bit over the past like 2 decades, because it was convenient, or it was, it felt like the right thing to do over time or at the time, right? It was like, oh, well, this will help protect us from terrorists abroad, whatever. And we just slowly start giving that little bit away because whether it's like, all right, I agree with this person and why they're doing that. So I'm willing to give that up. And then it just happened a little bit from each side. Everyone, regardless of what, what their political leanings were, start like slowly giving up that little bit at a time until you can't take it back because the precedent's been set.
But
right?
it was America versus the world back then, or at least they billed it as America versus the terrorists, whatever that means. At the time, I remember I was 16 years old sitting in a calculus class in high school, and 9/11 happened and they rolled in like the TV and we all watched it. I still remember when that happened. It's kind of a crazy, crazy moment in American history for people around our age. But so it was America versus the world, and we should have known something like the Patriot Act. You signed that. Maybe we needed it, maybe we didn't, to like solve the issues we were facing. But fast forward 20, 25 years to we're getting, in my opinion, we're getting towards the logical end of a two-party system. So I started seeing it like 10, 15 years ago. The Tea Party started to happen, and you started to see these more extreme candidates. So we have like Donald Trump now, who is like some sort of function of this like extremism. We have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. We have people like, Bernie Sanders has been around for a while, but he's an extremist in a certain way. Elizabeth Warren was like a milder version of that. And then we have like, the new crop of
Mamdani,
politicians.
New York.
Mamdani, right? So you have this extremism, and it's going to continue, right? Because that's how a two-party system is eventually going to play out. You start with Bill Clinton and like
moderate left
and George
guys.
Bush, right? Yeah. These guys are pretty much the same. They're not going to do too much fucked up on either side of the aisle. And America's going to be very stable. And then to win your primary, you start having to get a little bit more extreme. These damn liberals, these damn whatever, Tea Party people. And then you keep inching further and further away from the center, which is what's happening. And then you get a Donald Trump eventually, or you get, say AOC had won or Mamdani had won. Maybe Mamdani's president. Imagine that. Super extreme on one end, and you have Donald Trump. Not really super extreme on either end. He's just like a guy that likes to be in the spotlight. Figure, yeah. But his cabinet, super extreme on one end. You got people that are like fundamentalist Christians, like women should be at home having babies and not be hurt. There are people like that in the administration. You have Stephen Miller, who is like, was obviously relentlessly bullied and now has some power, and he's being really negative as a result. You can just see that, dude. There's videos of the guy from high school, like, holy shit.
Damn.
He should never have been given power over anything, because he's one of those guys, that grows up to, I don't know, become a cop or something because they got bullied. But we have this extremism, and it's just going to continue, I think, until something like drastic happens, like the whole fucking government gets changed from some sort of like representative republic to whatever Donald Trump wants to do.
Right.
Well,
like you said, the tracks were laid 25 years ago.
20 plus years ago. I have a book I want you to read. It's called American Theocracy.
Send it.
It's all about just how
I'll write it down.
Yeah. Write it down. It's one of the most prescient books I've ever read about kind of like how politics started to change in America, where, like kind of Bible thumping Americans, nothing wrong with that if you're religious, started to really embed themselves into right-wing politics and how that has changed like the structure of American politics over time.
You can look just here in Virginia with that, right? Like, I guess he's no longer, well, I don't know, but former Governor Youngkin, right? Like that was a big part of his campaign was like, and even to the point of vetoing things that were voted on by the people of the state for just
cannabis.
his cannabis for his personal like
well, you can't get on Pornhub in Virginia.
There you go.
That's paternalistic,
he took our
right?
porn.
He took the porn.
How dare you?
Is that probably a good thing? Probably. I don't think like kids should be looking at porn, or it should be difficult for them to do it, at the very least.
But priorities.
But what is the government's job is my issue with it. It's a process thing, right? I don't think the government should be too engaged in any sort of moralizing to the populace. I think they should just do their job, like administer the republic, make sure there's roads, make sure there's running water, stuff like that. The rest of the stuff should probably be left to the zeitgeist, the people to figure out how we are.
And so one thing I thought that was kind of eye-opening, there were a lot of eye-opening things about the pandemic, but one of the ones that I was going to say kind of gave me hope, it was a reminder that it's a federal system, right? So during the pandemic, when I think people learned, I learned, you probably learned this, we're business owners.
Yeah.
The governors do have a tremendous amount of authority.
Yeah.
And it's designed that way. And so, hey, like we had our issues, the whole world had issues. I guess it's a silver lining. One thing that I thought was actually decent that we learned in that process was that, like, all right, like, the feds can only do so much, and they tried to do a lot, but states were where the law was kind of laid down for people. Like we were waiting on state guidelines. At the time it was the dude before Youngkin, what was his name? Whatever.
McAuliffe.
That guy, Terry McAuliffe.
Yeah, Terry McAuliffe.
And look,
There's only been like 3 governors.
Well, they're limited. I think. Well, Virginia's limited to one term. Like
at a time, you can rerun. Right. You just can't be.
You can't be back.
Yeah.
So,
can't be back to back.
Which is probably a good thing. But anyways, but that it kind of showed you. I think this is your point, Tim, which is that this is old school American system. Like, we have a pretty good system if we hold on to it, if we can hold on to it. Because the more localized things are, the more the people are in touch with actually, like, you're more directly involved in how you're going to be regulated.
Right.
Which we're all Americans. We probably all appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I don't love being dictated around by a governor anymore. If I guess I love it if I like the rules that are being handed to me, but nonetheless, like, it's better than being top down, feds down. Like, this is the law of the land.
Yeah.
By edict.
In Congress and in the White House, to be frank, you want like moderates.
That's right.
You want people that are moderate left, moderate right, because they're not going to do anything extreme. And the frustration is, well, they can't get anything done. That's a good thing, man, because America's already pretty sick. We don't want it to change too much. Somebody's going to like, okay, like, you can't do this. Like, taxes are a little higher there, a little lower here during this administration. All that shit's fine. But we don't want like the 4th Amendment to get eviscerated. We don't want like 2A to go away. We don't want like the First Amendment to start getting restricted. We don't want ICE touching American citizens fucking at all. Like, that's problematic. I don't want any of that shit to go away. And when you have moderates in Congress and moderates in the White House, nothing much happens. And people don't understand how good that is. That's a good thing, man. Like, China, they can go say, everybody's got to drink 2 cups of water every day or we're going to fucking kill you. They can do that. And they can make it happen because they have that much extreme power, like centralizing government. We've never had anything like that in America, and it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. It would take 10 years for somebody to make a law and actually get it passed and then figure out how to enforce it in America. And then it'll just get shot down by the next administration.
That's right.
Fantastic. That's how it should be.
Keep it that way.
Keep it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it that way.
Provide stability, right?
I agree.
Do you think that that non-need for having to do things, this might be like a little heavier question, but like, because that's what we're still kind of seeing them trying to do that, because that's been status quo, right? Like, ideally, they don't have to do too much,
right?
Except for like just what comes across their desk. But now they're like, oh shit, am I losing my job? Right? Like,
yeah,
that's kind of the thing that's the topic right now, right? Like, I think they started talking about, if the Greenland thing happens, that's when we're going to start fighting back. It's like, okay, well, because that's like, well, then that's our power going away. Like,
yeah.
That's the line, apparently. I don't know. But, do you think that is potentially kind of the resistance that they're having? Like, because they're used to maintaining a certain status quo, and like this wasn't in the cards, or maybe, I don't know, if we're talking conspiracy theories, some of them knew about it. I don't know. But
yeah, man,
trying to not get like too deep.
Well, who knows what's going on
one side versus the other
inside the government? I don't know who's in charge. I don't think it's Donald Trump. That's what I've been trying to figure out lately. Is like, who's actually like running the government? Who's making these decisions? Like, who's doing this stuff? Who wrote the plan? Is it like Project 2025? Is it that crowd? Like, who's like kind of like driving the agenda? Because like Donald Trump's just gonna Donald Trump likes people that like him. People are like, man, he's a racist, he's this or that and the other. Like, he probably is. I kind of am too. Like, I just think that shit's a red herring.
Yeah.
Like, catch me on an average drive and holy shit, dude, you'll hear some stuff. So I don't care about that. And people care about that stuff too much. I think Donald Trump likes whoever likes him. He likes Kanye West. He's a black dude because like Kanye West likes him. That's how Donald Trump is.
That's right.
I remember he did something like positive for freaking Kim Kardashian just because she asked him, and she's like supportive / positive towards Donald Trump sometimes.
He likes the people that kiss the ring.
Yeah. People, if you kiss the ring, Donald Trump's your boy. And I think people like kind of miss that with him. They just like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. I think he was going to always get in the office and take care of his friends, and business partners and make himself more money. He always was going to do that. And anybody that was fooled into believing he had some other kind of like grand designed to make America better, you guys got sold, just like he was always selling people back in the 80s. Like, come on, man. He doesn't care about that shit. But somebody in the government does care about what's going on, and they're driving policy in a way that I feel like is really negative. And I want to know like who that is exactly. You know, is it Stephen Miller? Is it like Steve Bannon? Is it just the group? Is it the Heritage Foundation? Who is it? You know, and what do they want to do? Because if you know what somebody wants to do, it's easier to get in the way of it if you don't think it's a good thing.
Sure.
So, I think we're getting to some sort of catalyzing point. Everyone's like, well, if I start screwing with Americans, that's when I'm going to like rise up. And then some people are like, if they take Greenland, that's too much. Who knows? I don't know what the line is. I don't think anyone's going to do anything with regard to citizens unless something really bad happens. Because like, think about yourself. What would it take for me to come out of my nice, comfortable, you know, well-appointed Alexandria townhome and go out on the streets and put myself in danger and risk not coming back home to my, like, you know, my kids, because we need to rise up against the government.
Yeah.
What would it take to get me out of my house? Man, a lot. So like, we're all kind of full of shit in many ways, you know, it just hasn't come to our doorstep yet. So we're not going to do anything.
And I think, cause Europe loves protesting, right? But I don't think those countries recognize how the vast size of America is both one of its top things, but also we are so scattered as a collective peoples that like, it's kind of tough to like, where do you direct that? Right. Like that's the hard thing is like, we can't all, we don't all fit in DC, but also, you know, like
if we all decided right now, we hate the government, we're going to tear down. Where do you go first?
Exactly. You know, like, how do you start that? We can't all just like, do we just all march on our own state capitals? Like, do you like, what's the move? Right. And we don't have like, it's just harder because it's not the same, like structure as these other countries where like, it's like smaller.
Now, I could round this out on a positive note. In that
we'd like that
70 million or so people voted for Donald Trump, 70 or so million people voted for Joe Biden, as far as we know, right? And then there's about like 80 or 90 million other people that didn't vote, don't care, didn't have time. They're busy working, taking care of their family. America does have a silent majority. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of friends that are a part of that silent majority. Lately, I've talked to people at my own academy, just had conversations with them after practice, stuff like that. And I've noticed that there's actually more of us than there are of like extreme left, extreme right by far. So there's a lot of people that are like, I think this shit sucks too, but I'm busy with other stuff. I don't have the time or inclination to do anything about it. That group needs to, and then sometimes you rage about this stuff a little bit. You see something, you're like, man, that's effed up. And you feel almost alone because like all you see in the blogosphere, social media sphere is just like the left wingers and the right wingers like yapping. What about everybody in the middle? You know? And so I used to like sit at home and be like, man, am I the only one that thinks this is fucking insane? I start talking to people and I realized I'm actually not by a long shot. There are a lot of people like us, just like kind of like normal Americans that enjoy our freedoms to mostly just do whatever we want, you know, make your own way. If you're diligent, you'll probably be successful. If you're not, you probably won't, but at least you won't be homeless. Like we kind of enjoy that kind of American vibe. There's more of us than we think, and we should talk so you don't feel alone. There's like many people out here like us that feel the same way. You know, you might not agree perfectly politically, but you do care about the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and America staying stable, you know?
You said something a minute ago, or you asked a question a minute ago, and I think what I'm about to say hopefully aligns with the positive note thing, which is that you asked like, hey, who is kind of guiding this? Who is they? Who is the dude or group of dudes or whatever? And this is like, you know, the eternal question of the internet. who is no one really knows. But in an attempt to, like you said, kind of get out ahead of like, what do they want? Like, that's right. You want to know who it is, like, what do they want? Where are they trying to take us? I think the only way you can approach that is just kind of looking at what's taken place. Like, what are the it's like having a friend, like a manipulative friend who like says one thing but does another. Sort of just like, all right, like there's a bunch of noise, or it's like you guys heard the signal versus noise concept before?
Yeah.
Same thing. So like, all right, quiet the noise, but like, what's the signal? Like, what's taking place? Okay. To that point, like there's a lot I could say to that, but I'll just laser on one thing so I can make a point, I think, which is that if to what you were just saying, Tim, the noise, and you can call it social media, you can find a person to blame. I mean, that this phone that we look at, it does connect you with people simultaneously, but also makes you extremely alone. Right. And that's kind of what you're talking about. Like here you are looking at these things like, I'm fucking pissed or annoyed or I'm uncomfortable. And does anyone else think this?
Yeah, because you'll go look really quick, Scott, hold that thought.
Yeah.
You'll go on the post, you'll see something like shitty, right? Someone will post it. Say like somebody right-wing posts the video of the lady getting shot, right? In Minnesota recently. And under there, you'll see in the comments like, well, she should have complied with the officer. She was impeding their investigation. And you're like, are you guys fucking shitting me, dude? And you could come up with another example of something on the left wing where they're like, you got to let this fucking man in a dress use like a bathroom with little girls in it.
Sure.
Right. And you're like, are you? And then under the comments, everyone's like, yeah, he has a right to do that. He's not a he, it's a she. And you're like, holy shit, you guys are insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you're seeing, but you're not seeing that 90 mil in the middle that are like, yeah, this is fucked up. This lady getting shot is fucked up, and this guy shouldn't be in the women's bathroom. Mm-hmm. We think both things at the same time because like that like flies in the face of like reality here and our rights here, right? We care about both of these things. So the echo chamber does make you feel alone, but it's false. That's almost what I want to say here on the podcast. Yeah. That's false. No, it's false. Go talk to your neighbors. Go talk to your friends. Go talk to the guy across the street with the Trump flag up. Go talk to the lady across the street with a Kamala Harris sign up. You guys are more similar than you think. Mm-hmm. I've just been noticing that lately. I talk to people that are lean a different way than me. And before you know, it's like, yeah, taxes suck. Yep. You got to take care of your family. Yep. I got to take my kids to practice. Yep. You know, blah, 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 blah. And before you know, like, man, I'm way more similar to this guy than I am different despite this flag in his yard. That's or right. The flag in my yard. So we got to start talking to each other, man. Like there isn't us versus a them, a they. Right. But it's not what they want you to think. It's actually just all of us versus the fucking people that are super rich and control everything. That's what it really is.
You said it, which is like we're trying to be herded into these little categories, these lanes, like lanes that like I believe they know that they want to. The lanes have an end, and so this you just said it, which is that like just don't do it. Like you can look at it like and just look at it and be like, nah, don't take the bait.
Yeah.
You can see it. Like it's that to me is like, you can look at some of these things and kind of think like, well, why would someone want to steer me in one direction extremely?
Well, you can't have a real conversation on here. That's what I'm saying. Go talk to people in real life and you will like have a much different perspective and like set of feelings about America and like your country, man. I posted something about that a while back when a bunch of stuff was popping off about some other issue. And I was like, dude, no one on the internet is going to tell me to hate my neighbor. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to hate my neighbor, it's going to be because I went and talked to the motherfucker and I don't like it. That's why. That's the only reason why. No one on the internet is going to tell me to hate the guy because he's got a certain flag in his yard or because he's white or he's black or he's Ethiopian or whatever the case may be. I'm going to go talk to him if I fucking feel like it. Because I'm an American, I shouldn't have to do that, but I don't want to.
I can hate whoever I want. Yeah,
dude. I want to hate people for good reason, dude. Not because someone told me to.
Right.
You know?
That's right. Don't tell me how to waste my hate.
Don't tell me who to hate.
Don't tell me who to hate.
I mean, but hate. But it's that. Just don't let it. Because that's what I think it is. I think it's like if they can steer you in whatever, like there's like an inertia to these things, and like just get in that group and just go the direction we know. Like it's meant to hate.
Yeah.
And just. It's tough. I mean, we all have Instagram. We were talking about before we recorded this podcast how much we were all kind of like, yeah, we got to post content. Like, all right, what do you guys think about content? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not going away, but it shouldn't dominate your life. And like, you just don't indulge it. Like, just know it's a temptation. Just say nah.
Yeah.
Just say nah. And like, the good thing about like position you're in, the position we're all in is like we get to be in communities around people on a day-to-day basis doing like a real human thing, Jiu-Jitsu.
Well, and we're looking at community building, right? We're not looking at like creating our Gordon Ryan versus, whatever. Or Gordon Ryan versus Craig Jones, or like right versus
We
left.
took that Palpatine
like,
thing all the way to the full
oh,
extent.
dude, we took it all the way to the top.
That was
like
fantastic.
I like it. Yeah, it was
That was
awesome. That was awesome.
We did not know this is where this episode was going, and
I had a hunch.
I'm actually kind
I
of
had a
happy
hunch.
about it.
Yeah, me too. Good.
This turned out exactly the
way
way
better
it
than-
should have.
Well, but like to your point, man, like we get, and I think this is the positive note, which is that like I actually think, despite all the bullshit we see, like I said earlier, things are much, but like I think people still kind of go into offices when they have jobs. Like, they get around people and they're like, you can't live that way. Like that way is going to make you insane. It's going to it might turn you into a Manchurian candidate, but like just you can't spend all your time on the internet, like in these
It'll
devices.
just turn you into a weirdo extremist, dude.
That's right.
You know, where you're hard to talk to because you've like built your whole identity around like your politics, which in addition to it just not being good, like not being feasible for like living a happy life, it's just kind of fucking lame, dude. like, can we just say that? It's just not cool.
Yeah.
Like, who are you, man? Or you're like you talk to people like, who are you, dude? You know, essentially, you know, in some other form verbally, but you ask them who they are essentially, and they're like, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Who else are you? What do you do? Do you do jiu-jitsu? Do you like basketball? Who's your favorite player? What do you like? What kind of music do you listen to, dude? Is your wife a good cook? You know, are you guys going to have any more kids? There's so many more like interesting things. What book have you read lately, dude? What's your favorite show, man? Did you like The Wire? You know, like, and we're like building our personality around our politics. It's just fucking lame.
I agree.
It's uninteresting.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's gray and uninteresting. That's one of my that's one of my biggest problems with it.
What's
too.
tough? We live in DC. We live in
yeah.
DC. It's like unavoidable, but you're right.
Like what if government changes, man, and it turns into a fucking dictatorship?
That'll
like
suck,
an
man.
authoritarian government.
Maybe we
or
can
it
get,
turns into a communism. Maybe Mamdani takes over.
fuck, dude. Yeah, which version
know?
of which dictatorship do you guys want to live in more?
Guess what? I don't fucking care. I'm smart. I'm going to make it.
You'll make it no matter what.
Yeah, I'm going to be one of those guys that's like got a fucking cushy communist government job.
See, that's what I was thinking. Too, no matter
and
what.
if it's a dictatorship, I'm going to be a part of the regime because
That's right.
I'm not a moron.
That's right.
So honestly, personally, I've never been all that worried about surviving well. I'm going to do that because I'm a smart human being. But I worry about everyone else and how they're going to be treated under those kinds of systems. And so I like the American system.
I agree.
I want this one to remain in place. It's a big experiment. And it's the best we got. It's not perfect, but you look at all the other types of governments that exist around the world. America's the best, has been the best for a long time. You know, and some people would argue with me, capitalism's bad. It is bad in certain ways, but what else are you going to do? You're going to be
it's the
North
best bad
Korea,
system.
Be China. It's the best system we can come up with so far.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's free. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be free. It's a free market. It's supposed to be free. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, dude, I mean, you're talking raw American guys in here. We all agree on that.
It's just lame, dude. Like, you know, like just be, who are you, man, for real? Like, I want to know who people are. I think that's interesting. It's what I like about being a gym owner. I talk to a lot of people. You know, I have a student that'll wear like these shorts with fucking Kim Jong on them, for example.
Oh, really?
You know?
That's kind of fun.
I'm talking to you, Rich, if you ever hear this.
Yeah, Rich. Well, that's the nice thing about these
There's
gyms.
interesting
We meet the weirdest people in gyms.
Guess what?
It's
Rich
awesome.
is the nicest dude I've ever
I'm
met.
sure he
I
rules.
could call Rich today and be like, Rich, I need you to help me move all of my furniture to Austin, Texas. And he'll fucking get in a truck and help me and drive me to Austin.
That's
Texas.
awesome.
He's that kind of dude, you know? So you learn that shit about people when you build community and you realize like everybody's like, they could be a piece of shit one way and totally
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
And several others, you know, and on balance, they're good people, you know?
Yeah, it's that like, don't judge a book by its cover, right? Like the
never
thing
know,
that they're
dude.
presenting to you isn't necessarily who they are. And
They're asking us to judge all books by their covers.
That's
and
right.
move on.
That's what it is.
That's what I hate about.
No, that's and I'm glad you said that because that's the inertia. It's like put a label on a thing.
Yeah.
It reads more communist than because I don't know what else to call it, communist socialist, where they're like put people in group. It reads that way because it's sort of like with group we can assign malice and then we'll assign an emotion to you.
Yeah, and then you can justify doing bad things to X group.
That's right. They're in this group. We've assigned hate. You and other group doesn't like that group. This is divide and conquer.
Well, people don't read history enough. You know, I guess
we can wrap up on that.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe wrap up on this. I like to talk about reading about the Rwandan genocide, which is a heavy topic, but you think about how that happened. People will focus on like the Holocaust, and it's like an interesting in like complex situation. I think the Rwandan genocide is a more interesting one to talk about, or at least a little bit more instructive. Because you ask, like, how could you walk out of your home, grab a machete, and chop up somebody that you've been living right next to for 10 years? How did anyone get convinced to take an action like that? Were these exceptionally evil people? The scary thing is that they were not.
Yeah.
They were normal people. Over time, the government and commentators convinced these people over radio and otherwise that this minority was bad, right? They were less than human. They were cockroaches, whatever they would call them in the media, and over the radio. And so over time, you're dehumanizing this group of people, and it's nothing to you after enough of that to go out and chop that person apart with a fucking machete like they're a dog, because someone has made you believe you should just judge this entire book by only its cover. And since the cover you think is bad, it warrants you chopping them apart with a machete. And so I like that it's a really visceral example, because that's what happened in a lot of those cases in that country. And I like that it's an example of it happened in an African country in Rwanda where everyone's dark of skin. So you can't say like, oh, it was this like situation like between Jews and Germans where they look different. They're different types of people with different cultures.
Right.
Just the same fucking people that look alike, you know? And it even was able to happen in that context when you let something like this happen, when you let somebody force you to believe that this book's
Is evil
value
or whatever.
is just the cover,
yeah.
you know, the cover of it. So, man, that's heavy shit. But like, we shouldn't let the government and this political climate, we shouldn't let it make us come to those conclusions about each other. You know, so I refuse to let that happen. I want that to be a part of my jiu-jitsu community where we take the person based on their full like content. Like, who are they? You get to know them. You talk to them actually. And then if you don't like them, fine. But you'll probably have a more nuanced view of the person. You won't think of them as just a cockroach or an other or somebody to be tread on, right? Because they're a human being that you know, whether you like them or not. You know what I mean?
Here.
I like that little bit about the jiu-jitsu side of it too. We're all equal on the
Did
mat.
we even talk about
We said
jiu-jitsu
jiu-jitsu,
here?
I think, less than 10 times. That's okay. That's okay.
We
talk
got
about
like a
jiu-jitsu all the time.
solid 20 minutes of like jiu-jitsu and then about 50 minutes of
Action, dude.
of just
some
pure
heavy
action.
just really
It's
deep
good.
dive.
It's good.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it got a little heavy, but I don't mind that. I like it. I liked the level-headedness too, because you know, we did a good job of presenting this topic, guys.
Yeah, we nailed it.
I'm leaving that into our little pats on our own backs.
Should we be in charge
I think so.
of the government?
Us three?
Yeah. Together, a triumvirate?
You let us know in the comments.
You let us know in the comments. Vote for us, or we're
Vote
just going
for us.
to take over as
Dude, I
benevolent.
always say, I think I could fix all of the world's problems. This is the start of my villain arc, right?
I like it.
This is the beginning of
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Tim Dawson 2028.
I could solve all the world's problems. Just make me
King.
mayor of Earth.
Okay.
All right.
Mayor of
And
Earth.
then after I fix all of the problems, because I would have to do some horrible shit.
That's
straight
right.
up.
That's right.
I would exile myself to like the moon, dude.
Dude, you're
No
Thanos.
problem. I would absolutely give up power.
You're Thanos.
And people were like, no, you wouldn't. Once you have absolute power, you're never going to give it up. I would, dude. I would exile myself to the fucking moon and be happy about the work I've done.
Just farming on the moon.
Farming on the moon,
Hell
dude.
yeah. I mean, that sounds like
It's been
dream.
thought through before, Tim.
Yeah, it never worked out. Look what happened to Caesar.
Yeah. He tried.
Napoleon.
Yeah,
He got his exile though, but he wasn't in charge of that. So
No,
he
he
broke
did
out of
that.
jail. He's like, I ain't done yet, dude.
I'm
Another thing. And another thing. Yeah. Cool.
Napoleon, dude.
But I totally get where it comes from. Totally get it.
You just feel like you could fix it all, but you definitely could.
If I just get the right amount of power, I'll fix all of it fast.
If I could just have all of it.
Just give me all of it, no problem, and trust me,
Dude,
I'll give it up.
Trust me, I'll give it
The
right
younglings got in my way. They
yeah.
shouldn't have been there. They pissed me off. I was getting ready to go do something sick as fuck, and they stopped me. So yeah, I killed all the younglings.
There it
Big
is.
deal.
You
Big
I had
deal.
to do it.
Had to be done.
I'm just trying to say
For
Padme,
the greater
guys.
good, dude. Padme had to go. It's fine.
just trying
Padme,
to
dude.
accomplish the power
Yeah,
of
she got her heart
revival.
broken.
All right.
Well, she got her heart broken. I think, was that what it was? Like her heart was so broken. Is that why she died? Or did she
He
actually got
also
hurt?
like force choked her and
Oh,
threw her.
that's-
She could have just died from the
She,
injuries.
she, she,
I don't know. It's been a while.
She may have died because of domestic violence and spousal abuse,
I'll
but
rewatch it.
they don't say it outright.
That was
okay?
too heavy for the movie. In the same movie where younglings were.
Yeah, true.
You know, you
True, the
can't talk
younglings-
about
yeah,
domestic violence.
Yeah. That's
They-
where we draw the line.
Yeah.
They got to the end of the script and they're like, George, we can't.
Domestic violence?
They're like,
Too
bro,
much.
we can't leave it on this. We need to tell them that she died of a broken heart. He's like, no, like, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
They're like, no. We need to tell everyone that she died of a broken heart,
Right,
George.
right.
Don't you want to sell this
That was
to
my
Disney
takeaway.
one day?
That legitimately was my take. I was like, didn't she die from a broken heart? Yeah, but whatever.
Well, I think they say it. Like they do say it, but like he choked her and
messed
threw
her up,
yeah,
dude.
He
He fucked her up.
He force choked her and threw her into the ship. Obviously,
she
he killed
definitely
her.
died from that. Let's just say that. You know, let's just
true,
the
true,
conspiracy.
true.
That's why she died. Dude.
Obi-Wan sliced him up pretty good though on the way out.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
He
100%.
hacked him to pieces.
and then he got force ghosted in episode 4, which
Oh my god.
has yet to happen in Jiu-Jitsu, guys.
Yeah.
The chosen one.
But so, like, I guess are we doing a little prediction here that Gordon Ryan kills his
Whoa, dude.
wife?
You're so wild.
Jesus.
No.
Are we?
I think Gordon Ryan gets redeemed.
Do you think?
He might be
So
Anakin
he's going to
Skywalker.
skip all the way to the
Yeah.
final. We're just going to skip all the other
I mean, the
stuff.
guy's midichlorian count.
His metachlorian
It's-
is high
it
as
is
hell,
off the
dude. It's
charts.
off the
It's
charts.
off the
There's
charts.
no question.
Are the midichlorians just testosterone?
Juice.
Yeah.
Is it
It
just
could
his
be.
T levels?
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
I like
we
it.
talked to Gordon Ryan at Worlds, because Maya won trials. So this is interesting. Little bit of jujitsu here. I know
Let's
we gotta
do it.
get-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted
right.
to. I was trying to guide it back
We'll work
for
it
at
a
least
little
the
bit.
A
closing.
little bit of jujitsu.
A little bit.
Maya went trials, right?
Yep.
By the way, I was a nervous fucking wreck the entire tournament because it was like the biggest. It was a project. It was like a 6-month long project. I think I'm a fucking good coach, and I made a plan, and I was like, I think I can get you to the top of the podium at trials. And Maya, to her credit, love you, by the way, always believes in me. She's always down to go on like a little journey, a little adventure with me, take on a project. And so this is a lady that has not done anything significant in jujitsu for 10 years, had a ton of knee injuries, blah, 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 et cetera. You know, she's like, okay, you are saying you can get a 37-year-old woman, local mom, to the top of the podium at East Coast trials. And I'm like, yes. And she's like, okay, let's do it. That's the kind of partner I have. So, we go on this journey and we do all of this work. It sucks. It wasn't easy. We spent all of our time doing it, late nights, watching film, you know, extra training sessions, reviewing tape, all this crap. And so all that culminates in the tournament itself. And we get to the semifinal. And so I'm a nervous wreck. I'm like, dude, if we don't win here, I'm a fucking moron. That's not true because like tournaments are hard. You never know what's going to happen once you get there. But that's how I was feeling in that moment. So we're fighting this little phenom, Jocelyn Molina, right? And she had beaten us in Jersey. We just had a bad outing. It was like a weird rule thing. I'm not even sure we lost, in my opinion, but we lost. All right. But it was by negative point. So I'm like, Maya, you can beat this girl. We made a few mistakes. That first match, we're not going to make those same mistakes. You're ready to go. She goes out there, fucking slams Jocelyn, dominates her, 6-0, wins the semi. And so we get to the final. I'm a nervous wreck. So my point is, bring it back to Gordon. Gordon was the coach on the other side of that semi. And so we're thinking, okay, Gordon Ryan maybe won't be nice to us if we approach him because, you know, we eventually want to go visit Kingsway.
Sure.
And so we go talk to him at Worlds, Noogie Worlds. He's a perfect gentleman, super nice. He was like, yeah, please come by and train. We'd be happy to have you. So it's like, man, this guy is like a villain on the internet, but when you interact with him in person,
He's a good dude.
he's a good dude. And he was nice at trials too. Like, you know, he could have been like standoffish because we be like his athlete. He was super nice the whole time. So I think Gordon maybe gets redeemed in
Okay.
community's eyes.
I could see that.
And it comes out that Gordon Ryan is actually a nice
Big old
person.
sweetheart.
He's actually a sweet.
He's going to be sitting there with in his as a Force ghost next to the
Yoda.
future Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda.
Yeah.
They're all just doing their thing, chilling in Force.
Turns
heaven
out
or whatever.
Craig Jones was
Maybe, dude. We don't know, man.
We don't
Darth
know.
Maul,
It's still
Darth something.
Well, I made him Count Dooku. He's not a good guy in this scenario, I guess. He's the rebel.
Do we trust like do-gooders, like people that are always like out there like white knighting it in some way? Do we actually trust those people? Sometimes they end up being the worst people.
Oh yeah,
in reality.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Bill Gates.
I just tell people like
Bill Gates was on that island, dude. He's out here saying he's going to save everyone, dude. Bill Gates is out here doing some weird shit, dude.
I'm a bit of a piece. I tell people I'm honest with myself. I'm like, I'm kind of a piece of shit, dude. Like Maya's like, would you ever cheat on me? And I'm like, yeah, in the right situation, in the right circumstances. And that's why, because I know that, I keep myself out of those circumstances.
I understand.
I think that's more real than
I think you're extremely honest.
Because that's you're full of shit if you say that. Are you for real, dude? Like Halle Berry walks up right now. She wants to bang it out and you're hammered drunk. Are you going to do that? Probably. That's why you stay out of those situations.
That's why you don't hang out with Halle Berry.
You don't hang out with Halle Berry, dude.
I usually ignore her
don't do that.
You ignore her text all the time.
Text. Yeah, I get
when
it.
she slides into the DMs, you don't respond. You don't accept that message request.
Yeah,
because you don't even follow her.
You don't. I'm skeptical of white knights for that reason.
Of course,
we usually have a little something in the closet that's deeper and darker than we want. We want to believe.
I could tell you guys some stories. Another time.
We'll have to do it another time.
Another time.
Scott's going to leave us all with blue balls here on Fighters Drinking Coffee.
We're all about that. We're not, but anyways.
But it happens sometimes.
It happens.
Well,
cool.
Boys, I think we did it.
I think we did it. On that note, thank you guys for listening to Fighters Drinking Coffee.
Tim, you're in the Hall of Fame.
You're in the Hall of Fame. I can't wait to come back.
I'll be back. Fighters Drinking Coffee Hall of Famer just got inducted right now. Tim Dawson.
Dude, you will like this. I was joking around with Asim before New Year's, probably like December or whenever. I don't know. Recently, and I was like, man, he said, what are you doing for New Year's? I'm like, what are you doing for New Year's? And I'm like, maybe I'll text a couple guys. It's like, what if we did a podcast? Hear me out. It's like, what if we did a podcast? I was like, I'll text Tim. We'll drink, and we're gonna watch some matches, and we'll judge people. We'll have fun. We'll get drunk. And I'm like, I got a group of dudes. I'm like, I know this is gonna work.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it sometime. All right.
When, man?
All right.
Let's end on that note.
Let's do Japan first. We'll do Japan first, and then you have my word. I'll make that happen.
Okay.
Should we bring the mobile equipment and we'll run it?
We're gonna record it.
We'll record in Japan.
Oh, well, we could do that. Sure. I don't think we want to put a lot of Japan on camera.
True. That might be.
I think we want to keep Japan off camera.
Japan will be
no comment.
Japan will be in the deepest, darkest secrets of the Fighters Drinking Coffee universe.
Japan, they probably got some sick technology. Maybe we could just buy equipment over there, dude. They probably have some cool, small, like badass versions.
I was just gonna bring the mobile mics. We'll just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it live.
I'm open-minded. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
All right.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. But this is not live. But yeah, thanks guys for listening to Fighters Drinking Coffee. That was Tim Dawson, coach extraordinaire. He can take a 37-year-old woman and coach her to the top of the podium at trials. It's proven.
No problem.
No problem.
It's really difficult.
It's going to be 6 hard months of your life and a background in already being a competitive jiu-jitsu athlete, but he can do it.
He did it.
But thanks for coming on. That was
awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's fun little avenue down conspiracy theories, jiu-jitsu, tapping into his legal knowledge. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We had a bunch of questions for you guys. Drop those in the comments.
Keep asking questions.
Drop your answers in the comments. And ask us some questions as well. We'll answer them. And comment, subscribe, reviews, all those things help us build up the algorithm, or climb up the algorithm, get in front of more people. And just like we said, build that community because we're all more alike than you think, just like Tim said. And Tim, where can they find you before we sign out here?
I am on Instagram mostly. At High Noon BJJ and Tim Dawson BJJ. Both of my, obviously High Noon is public. My personal profile is public as well. Please come yap at me, negative or not. I don't care. I like to argue on the
He'll get you
internet.
back.
So yeah, I'll get you back. Come say whatever you want. Thank you guys for having me. I think this was so dope. I can't wait to do it again.
Oh yeah, we're excited to have you back, and especially for our fighters drinking
one of
whiskey.
the sub concepts that I have brewing. Yes,
Yeah, so
for sure.
but yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.